modality. Welcome everyone. I'm very happy to meet you guys today for after church tea time. And we have a great topic ahead today, great discussion ahead about increasing the quality of your life by finding balance. And yeah, I think this is a very universal idea and topic for, every human being. This is very essential because when you have a balanced lifestyle, you also have a happy and joyous lifestyle. You have energy, you can be driven and motivated to pursue everything that you desire. And yeah, since we all watched the Sunday service on that, I really wanted to talk to you guys about it. And do you guys have any major takeaways about this topic?
Yeah, I feel for me the major takeaway has been that, God always comes first and you, like there is no there is no difference. And that sometimes it may seem like counterintuitive to follow what God is asking you to do when you have so much work on your plate and you'll be like, well, the day has only 24 hours, 8 of them at least I'm sleeping. The other ones I'm kind of like working and I have other stuff to do. When will I be able to handle all these extra tasks on my plate? And so in my case, I sometimes maybe feel stressed and like, nah, I have to do it right now, even though I feel like resting, and God is definitely telling me like rest. I'm not giving you the energy right now to handle your tasks. And I'm really learning to choose the balance here and choose to give to myself, even though it seems like kind of maybe scary, like, oh, will I be able to hand everything in on time when I now take rest? But I actually came to realize that it feels much better and I'm much more productive when I actually rest. And I choose to rest, not just lie around and think like I'm resting, but really allowing myself to receive in that moment. And from that receiving, I'm able to give so much more than I would have been able to do without like taking the rest. So I feel this is what the sermon also underlined for me today again.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, like, I think too, rest is something I've had to really heal into. And also, if you're not listening, like God will always sort of kind of help you listen. So for instance, like my work is very physical, and I've had a lot of back pain and a lot of things that I've had to work through over the last like many years, but specifically the last year and a half. And so I wasn't listening. And so my body was just holding on to tension and stress. And it got so bad that I was forced to listen. And I just had a lot of feelings that I didn't feel safe to feel, didn't feel ready to feel through and process them. And so it really took, me having to work through a lot of physical challenges to the point where I could barely work. And so I think, but through that, I was able to continue to call in the support that I needed to get the rest that I needed. And here, like a year later, my body's really healing. It's really responding. And I still have this call to like overwork, because that's like, I feel like it's that unworthiness that I'm healing, that I don't really feel like I deserve the rest and the balance that I've been calling in. So I think it's really, that's why the teachings of union are so important, because it's so easy to ignore the call, especially if you have a pattern of, work being your good, of work, instead of God. And so that's why it's so important really to listen and surrender and allow. And it's in the rest and in the balance of taking care of like cleaning and things like that, where I feel like I get those downloads and I get new inspiration. Yeah, to really bloom in a new way. So yeah, that's been really helpful for me in finding balance. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it sounds almost counterintuitive, you know, that when you want to accomplish a lot, you want to be very successful, and then you ask God in your heart, like, what's the next step to do to accomplish this milestone? Well, just chill, relax, you know, watch some Netflix, or whatever, you know. And yeah, that is very important. Go into the garden, have a barbecue, you know, because it fills you up, and yeah, you can accomplish a lot more from an overflow that you generate in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also sustainable, right? Because what the world is teaching us to keep pushing, keep doing, keep overworking, do those extra hours and really push yourself to the limit to get everything done. And then like, and you can rest when you retire. Everyone says that. Everyone is teaching that. And that is not sustainable. Like this is really living in the rat wheel. And what we are doing right now, it may sometimes seem like, well, I have so much to do, and there is always something I can improve, always something to go deeper. And then God is telling you, like, well, rest right now. And you'll be like, whoa, that's like, I want to, you know, I want to move forward. I want to get things done. I want to grow. I want to do this and that. And it seems like we are on a slower path. But on the other hand, I feel like at some point, when we find that balance, we actually see that we are kind of like, we are running a marathon while other people just like you know, they have this short-term speed and then they like pass out for weeks. And I've been there too. I was like that too. And so we actually see what we are doing as more sustainable in the long term, and what we are doing is like eternal. We are building an eternal success here. And it reminds me also of this picture of, do you guys know this this comparison of two ladders where there's like one ladder that has like big steps and someone is trying to climb them, and then there's on the other hand the other ladder with like tiny steps and someone is taking this, and you can actually see that the one with the bigger steps to take, they're like kind of exhausted at some point and they're not making so much progress because it takes so much effort to always be like that instead of doing tiny steps every day kind of. And so they are actually reaching their goal, the ones who like should choose the sustainable way. And yeah, I think that's something that the sermon also like highlighted as well, to remind us that we are eternal and that it's crucial to choose that balance here in order to have eternal results.
no, I love that. When I remember when I first started to put myself first and to really choose, my schedule was really, really busy. But I noticed that days that I was really, I just a super full schedule, like it was just so compassionate because things would shift and move. People would cancel or they'd reschedule, and I'd have an extra hour that I didn't expect. And it's just like, God, like here, have some rest. You've been calling this in. And so it's really safe to put yourself first. And I think that even like looking to the places that you resist, like I was resisting putting a schedule together. And I was resisting like doing yoga, which really helps me like feel what's happening in my body more and really helps me dive deeper. But I realized that I wasn't fully claiming that I'm doing all of these things to really help my body heal and nurture that inner child that really needs my emotional support. And I wouldn't put the schedule together because I didn't feel worthy of the extra time physically doing yoga. And so I think it's really about like feeling into the places that you're resisting and noticing and healing around that so that you can actually give yourself what you need. It's so critical. I remember I went home for the holidays and I kept wanting to work, but God was very clear. No, you need to rest. You need to just completely decompress. And it was so miraculous because over that time, like I was able to bring in a whole slew of new clients. And I was able to stop like driving Uber and doing like really leaking my energy in a lot of ways. And yeah, it's like God will always help you heal if you really choose it and really trust the process. So
Yeah, it's really, you can deal with the smaller blocks on the wayside, or you have this like the main quest, the main obstacle in the way. And for me, when it comes to the balance stuff, then it's always like the balance sheet. So that is like the income and outcome, the expenses, and what the income is, and then having that every day. That should be the absolute standard, especially when you're self-employed. And I've definitely had my fair share of resistance to doing that, and attracted, unnecessary financial bad feelings from it, because there was always this like gap where I'm like, well, there could be an issue there. There might not be. There could be, right? Yeah, but if you have the transparency of that sheet, the facts, and that is also self-care, because it relieves you of like the mental worry, possibly. And yeah, then you're like, you have this handled, and then whatever you do, you can enjoy much more. Be it work, be it hanging out with friends. You don't have that nagging thing in the background. And when I was sitting down for this discussion, I was actually feeling my cats nagging. I'm like, oh, it's actually almost feeding time. So I'd rather feed them now, to avoid any issues there. So dealing with your foundation helps you with all the other things. Yeah, do you guys have any experience from your own life, like any other experiences where you encountered maybe an imbalance and identify it, and then are resolving it or are about to resolve it?
I guess that's an everyday thing for sure. I feel definitely my normal day job is teaching me that a lot. And it's also, we are working in an office with like only 4 people in the office itself, in this room. And one of my coworkers, he's very stressed out about everything. Like he tries to, put these 50 calls in like 5 minutes. And I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling like compelled to do the same, because it looked like he is more efficient than I am. He's faster in everything that he's doing. So I was comparing myself to him. I was like, well, I choose to feel peaceful, because he was definitely stressing out a lot. And I always claimed my peace and chose to be peaceful. And the way I went about it, or I go about it, is, yeah, just affirming the choice, and also seeing like, what do I need to do right now to give to myself, and not to fall into this trap of, I need to stress out too, right? And to get more things done. And so I'm listening to myself, trying to feel my feelings all the time and be like, okay, what do I need right now? And I'm drinking my 3 liters of water. So this forces me to go to the toilet as well many times. I have to get up. I have to move. I have to walk around. I bought myself like a fitness watch, a very good one that is telling me when I'm stressed. It actually vibrates and tells me, hey, your stress level is high. And I'm like, oh, bro, you're right. I need to chill here. So this is very supportive, right? But it's something I healed into to be able to give myself the support. And also, it's telling me when I'm sitting too long. It's like, you gotta move, right? And then I'm like, oh, well, it's also time for me to get up and just move around the floor. And I came to realize that it looked like on the outside, he's more efficient, he's doing more sales than I am. That's what I thought. But we actually looked at the numbers last week, and it turned out that I made the most sales. And I was like, well, for the most part, I felt like I was just chilling, having my few calls, and I had so much other stuff I had to deal with. I wasn't able to just stick to my task. I had to also deal with many other things that were on my plate. I was like, well, I was probably not, not at my best here, but I feel good and I feel sustainable and like keep growing here and finding my routine as I'm growing. And I was very surprised when I saw the numbers. It's like, wow, that's like motivating me to give more to myself in order to give more to the company. And yeah, maybe another example was actually yesterday. So Chrissy invited us to declutter because Daniel is going to move in 1 month from now. So I needed to declutter a lot. And after the session, I was like, kind of like resistant. I was like, well, I'm not really feeling upset, but I'm feeling like, "Ugh, I can't right now. I'm just I'm so exhausted." And so I was like, well, I need to rest. I need to sleep. I need to just process the session, I guess. And so I laid down in my bed in the middle of the day. I was like, I was resisting it a little bit, but I noticed I can't do anything at the moment. I'm literally forced to just stay in my bed and play Pokemon Go, That was giving me so much joy that I think after 20 minutes, I hopped off the bed and I was like, let's do it. And I was decluttering for 9 hours straight into the night. And then I went outside. I just talked to Fabian about it, trying to see the northern lights in the middle of the night. Yeah, felt very good. And so I feel this is definitely telling me, like, every time I just noticed a little bit of stress, or what you shared in the sermon as well, that we tend to try to look for stressors on the outside when there is no predator or anything, right? I feel we are always invited to choose either the stress or the peace. And so being definitely more discerning and aware with everything that's going on, even in my body, because the body is showing me at first sight, like something is going off here. Like you feel that tension, or you feel a little like you're actually more breathing in your chest rather than your belly. These are like indicators for me to see, like, oh, okay, I'm stressed here. I'm choosing peace and grounding, and yeah, grow from here.
That's so beautiful. I love how I think that just goes to show like how the teachings of union really help you heal all of these places where you feel like you have to get love outside of yourself. And I know for me, like I've been a trained classical dancer for like 30 years or something. And I developed a work addiction where I just like, I really loved that high of jumping and turning and being in alignment, physically. But I wasn't able to align to source, to God, to like the divine within. I had a lot of anger, and it helped me kind of like process some of that anger in maybe a healthier way than perhaps another addiction. But nonetheless, it was still very, very much an addiction to the feelings and the endorphins and all of that came with the art form. And it's so nice, because as I begin to really ground and heal with the teachings of union, like I don't have like even this last year and a half, I've just been like, oh, I just want to heal so I can dance again. That's all I could think about. Is like, I just want to be able to dance again. But as I've been healing and really allowing God and love to permeate my heart, it's like I don't have this like I don't have this craving anymore. It's like, I just have peace. Like, and it's nice too, when I'm in class, I'm like, oh, okay, I have a little more ease in my body now. This is nice. But even with that, normally I would be like, oh, I can go take class again, but I don't. It's just this beautiful peace that, like, sure, it'd be nice to dance again, but it's not like, and then what that also did, it caused a lot of inflammation in my body because I wasn't supporting myself nutritionally, and I had major burnout. And after I had my daughter, I literally had to go on an anti-inflammatory diet for like 5 years to heal my energy resources. So not only did I was like chasing this high, it depleted me almost like a drug would. It literally took me 5 years to physically heal my body. So even the healthiest of things can actually be harmful if taken to extremes. And I couldn't, dancers train extensively, so it was normal, right? Like, it's not normal for somebody to be on a treadmill for 3 hours, but it's normal for dancers to like push it out 3, 4, 6 hours a day. It's quite, yeah, it was a little much. So, and I was not aware at all, that I was really hurting myself. So yeah, so it's nice to be on the other side of it for sure. And I definitely have the teachings of union to thank for that, because I would still be like chasing that high, otherwise. So
You're still dancing now, right? And
I'm teaching. I
oh,
have a school and I'm teaching. I'm kind of, I've definitely realized that I'm kind of transitioning more into coaching, but I've just started that process actually. But yeah, I definitely realized I'm in the wrong life purpose and
mm,
realigning. So that feels really good too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's really that, everything in moderation thingy, where you need water every day, right? But if you drink too much of water, it's actually not healthy, right? There's a balance to strike even with that. Yeah, but I can totally relate to the work addiction as well. It's always like getting this input, like this sensory input of like the next message to reply to, then it pings, like you get it makes a little sound, you get conditioned to kind of listen to that. And yeah, really sometimes resisting that as well, and being like, well, one step after the other. Yeah, first I'm going to finish this one, and then follow the flow and follow the good feeling to throughout my day, basically. And then everything gets handled. And yeah, when I look into my experience of life, I can totally see this transition from, it's always like this hustling mentality of like, kind of what Carmen shared as well about that, like do the 50 calls in 5 minutes. And this is a way of thinking, right? It's like volume, quantity, and eventually you will score. But I guess a step beyond that is where you improve your skills as well. Like you improve your skill level, and then you increase your chances, you improve your outcome. But there was always something missing, which is the spiritual, right? The teaching of union answered that for me, and then really following the feeling. And I'm still learning that. But whenever I do follow that, it miraculously works out. And it's crazy, really. Not really, it's very normal, and natural, but it's always amazing how it does work. And this is something that not a lot of people yet understand or have experienced or encountered. And when you do so and you experience that shift, that's a beautiful moment, because it is almost like experiencing some kind of, it's not magic, right? Because it's real, it's true, but it's almost magical, like because every normal approach that you maybe learned when you grew up was hustle, do it, and this is still important, but there's another side of it, which is the feeling, the spiritual, and then you intuitively feel like now is the moment to pick up the phone and call, and now I have this tonality or whatever, right? And now I have this vibration, and I attract this opportunity, and now I radiate, success, and I can close the deal. And versus my colleague, maybe applies like the quantity approach and gets the same result, but one way feels much better than the other.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. And also something that helps me a lot currently is even though like finding peace with the fact that there's always something to do. And like I'm really, really letting go of this belief that I can rest when this and that is done. Or I can, yeah, this is like putting my happiness in kind of like in the future. And I sometimes notice that, for example, I actually, let's say like I need to really go to the toilet, but I'm like, well, I want to have this task done because then I'm like online with my timeline, right? And so I'm kind of like postponing going and just having to deal with that. So it's like in order. Maybe that's very autistic of me. I have no idea, I guess, to be honest, because even when I'm in the gym on the cross trainer, I can't get off the cross trainer when I'm not like I have to finish like it's either in 5 minute steps, like 30 minutes, 35, 45, or 60 minutes, but never like 61, 61, 30. It always has to be like a clear number or something. And that's like really, I don't know, I think it's really stupid. And at the same time, it keeps me going. Like I really want to get to the next 5 minutes and, keep pushing that. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that, um, yeah, finding peace with the fact that there's always something to do. You can always improve. You can always go deeper. You can always do something. You can always like work even more. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to give to yourself at this moment and relax and receive no matter what you're doing and where you are headed. It's all in the present moment, and everything is found in the present moment and not when this is accomplished or this task is done off your plate or whatever, right? And I feel that's something for me. I'm definitely finding more and more peace, and that means that life is always expanding, life is always flowing, and if I would just aspire to get this task done and then I can rest, let's stick to that example, that would basically mean also choosing death or choosing this retirement energy, which is nothing we are choosing here, right? And I feel that feels actually very abundant and very alive because, yeah, we are in a constant flow, and it reminds me also of the ocean. Like there is this ebb and the flow, or the waves. They are like coming and going, and this means also like translated to life. It's like you have to breathe in, but you also have to breathe out. And this translates for me like as you have to expand in your breathing, right? And you also have to rest and let go. And this is like finding the balance with that. Yeah.
No, I love this topic. It's so fun. Yeah, something that I'm working through too, with all of that is like am I being motivated by pressure or am I being motivated by love? And so I notice whenever I feel pressure, I like come back to my heart, and then I'll follow that feeling of like, okay, I'm gonna rest now. Like God told me to rest, so I'm gonna rest. Then and then what happens is it helps me to really like get these intuitive these intuitive, inspirations, and then I'll be inspired to do things. And that inspiration like continues to, it's like a fuel that continues to just like nourish my whole work life. And then I'm actually like really enjoying it. I caught myself yesterday, just being like in such joy. Like it was just such a nice moment, and I had some upheaval afterwards. But the point is that like when you really allow that, following God and listening to that intuitive sense, like you're actually able to not just like, because time, I think I've always attached a lot to time, but time is an illusion, and so and having a relationship with time and having a relationship with everything around us will create that balance, because we're balanced within. And when you're balanced within, like the rest will just naturally align, like the perfect timings will just like all flows. And that's how you're in alignment, is because it all just comes together naturally and perfectly. And it's effortless. And I think that's what like I feel like I've always been missing, is that like effortlessness in life, because I don't think it's supposed to be hard. Like why would God give us all these tools and all this time and all these ways of being, and to make us suffer? Like that doesn't make any sense. To put pressure, that's not aligned with God. And so it's like, God wants us to be happy. God wants us to be in our joy. Okay, so where am I out of alignment with my true self, my heart, and so that balance within will cultivate on the outside. As I love how Neelam said, to like polish your roots and like keep, I love that image. Like, okay, I'm polishing my roots now. So yeah, it's so fun.
That's awesome, yeah. And I guess it's a lifelong mastery. And if it's extremely difficult, then there's probably something to look at. And I get better at catching myself when I'm like, controlling and like resisting and like, I want to do this now. And then it's like, it's so difficult to keep doing that. And I'm like, okay, we have already done that. Let's try something different and build trust with myself, right? And then like 1 second later, I feel much better already. That's good. We have something come up in a month. In a month, we have the Michigan event, the 20th Universe Spiritual Life Summit. A lot of us are going to be there, right, on the community. And from the past live events that I attended, there was always really a taste of heaven and what a balanced life looks like, because I always share these Airbnbs with others, and you do spiritual work together. You prepare maybe a breakfast, or you go out and eat. Usually that's done a lot because we're on vacation, right? You go out, you work, you have a session, and then you go have a big workshop with everyone, and it's just very balanced. And then you go for a walk. It's just beautiful. And in the community, having it in the community is even better. Yeah. How do you guys feel about the upcoming event? And have you guys prepared everything, or do you still have something to do?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Travel plans, reservations. I'm like really excited. I'm just really excited to experience experience it this time, especially because I'm in a much different place. than it was when I was in Sedona, and I did the Asheville Healing Retreat too. So
Yeah.
I'm just really looking forward to creating a deeper foundation in my life. And that's always what these events do. They create a deeper foundation in love and help me have a deeper understanding of what the Ascension journey is about. And it helps me to kind of like, I don't know, it like normalizes the Ascension journey, where I think at least so much of my family and friends have not quite understood it. So it's so nice to be understood. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, all the things.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking so much forward to it. And I've been claiming this since I joined the community to be able to, attend a workshop like this. And I can't believe it's really happening this time. Like, I couldn't make it in Sedona. I was financially not there yet. And being able to attend it now, and even with my twin flame, is like still unbelievable and yet kind of like so normal. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's like, wow, I've never been to the USA and I've never really seen so many people from the community. Like I met a few people, right? And I can't wait to meet all of you. And I think everything is in order. I'm still trying to figure out which like gown I'm going to wear to the wedding. There's so many dresses. I'm like, oh, which one is the juiciest? I'm gonna still need to figure this one out. But it's fun to also think about like what do you need when you fly to the US? Like we have different adapters here in Europe, right? So I needed to buy an adapter so I can charge my phone and stuff like that. I think it's really fun to think of all these things and already feel into like I like to and love to express myself through clothes and already thinking like, oh, which clothes I'm gonna take with me, which will feel the juiciest. Yeah, I'm really super, 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 super happy about the event.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. I do have to figure out my fashion, my clothing as well. But I have some vision, especially for the art show, you know. But yeah, we will see. And of course, the wedding is going to be such an amazing conclusion of it. We do still have some tickets left, and kind of time is running out so to get these, right? The event is in a month, so there's only a few days left to get the tickets for the event, and we have more information on that at unionism.org. All righty. Yeah, and looking at the time, you know, we're gonna come to a conclusion here as well, slowly but surely. And I just wanted to ask you guys, you know, since we talked about finding balance, increasing the quality of your life, do you have any tips, any ideas that you can share? Is anyone watching? Maybe something that you learned that you can, you know, pass forward. I guess if I ask myself for that, then I would really just say, have patience. Like this is like a lifelong mastery, you know, like stay with it, stay on it, do it, choose it, and like don't avoid it, but also don't be afraid of making a mistake or messing things up. And usually when you have dealt with, you know, overworking, in my experience, you have to cross this, you have to go down the same path again, right? But this time with love. So don't be afraid of working, right? Because to master it, to learn it, you have to go there, right? You have to go there, but then also learn, keep that in mind. What you learned previously is that, okay, I do have to keep this.
I love that. I would definitely say the same. And maybe in addition to that, just say like, yeah, stay connected to your feelings. And really, when you're not sure what to do right now, what's the next step? What does feel good? Is like ask God and follow that feeling and trust that whatever answer is coming, that you just follow that and see what's happening there. Or when you made like the experience from overworking in the past, for example, in order to build trust with yourself, you have to do something different. So you look at what did I do back then? I was just like overextending myself and just did that extra mile, even though it didn't feel good. But this time I choose to take stock and check in with myself and see if I'm really able to go that extra mile, or if I need to take a rest here, whatever I need to take, I'm gonna do that. And this is how you build trust. And I feel that's my takeaway. And just be aware that your body is constantly communicating to you. God is constantly communicating to you, and you will feel when you just do a body scan, like a quick body scan, like where am I holding on to like stress right now? Where can I choose balance in my body? And this will reflect in everything. It's like all connected.
Yeah, I love that, Carmen. Yeah, and yeah, because it's body, mind, spirit. That's like our whole everything. And so your body's always communicating, and just excuse me, like leaning in, like lean into the uncomfortable, because that's what God's showing us, is through the uncomfortable, and saying, okay, well, where am I being uncomfortable to myself? Where am I not loving a part of myself? And it's so easy to believe that the world is against you, or that attack is real, or that that all of these things that people are showing you or can show you, it means something about you. What it means is just that you have more growth to do on yourself, and to really meet yourself in those uncomfortable places. Because I definitely had places I was like manipulating myself and, rewarding myself for bad behavior, and just really, really not being loving, like very, yeah. And working through those places and recognizing what other people are showing me is a reflection of how I'm treating myself. And these patterns go sometimes like before birth. Like I know I was emotionally abandoning myself before like 3. So that means I probably came into this world emotionally abandoning myself. So it's about like just staying humble and claiming your innocence, because naturally you wouldn't intentionally hurt yourself. But it's just like, I believed in suffering. I believed in pain. I believed that I wasn't worthy of love. And that's what we're healing for the whole world. I mean, imagine if we all believed in love, there wouldn't be war, there wouldn't be these things. So it's like we heal the world by healing ourselves. And then this ripple effect that happens because of our own healing, the boundaries that we set with people we care about, really pushes them to the next level in their journey and healing too. And we heal together, by saying no to ego and yes to love. And yeah, it's just like so transcendental to get to a place where I really like am grounding love in my life and with myself. It's like such a priceless gift. So yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And it's a beautiful comment also to close today's discussion, if you guys feel complete. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, for participating. I wish everyone a balanced week ahead, a joyous week ahead, and we will see each other again at the next Sunday service happening at the Church of Union YouTube channel, and then we're gonna have another discussion here in the Facebook group as well. All right. Thanks again.